Good afternoon, Dual Coast fans. We are back with another exciting episode of Dual Coast Podcast, joined by very special guest this afternoon. This afternoon, I highlight. Chris, thank you so much for being here with us. Russ, as always on the West Coast, how are you guys doing?
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here with you guys today, and I am ready to go.
It's awesome.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
So I already know that from Dan, it's 17 degrees on Long Island.
Yeah.
Chris, what is it in Minnesota today?
Oh, you don't even want to know, Russ. It's pretty damn cold. Currently, I think we're at like below zero weather, and then with the wind chill, it makes it even colder. But once you get below zero,
It doesn't matter.
All pretty numbing from there, so it really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, right?
Well, I think it's 63 here today.
Tough life.
Tough sledding.
Terrible.
Tough sledding.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I saw Dan on the back of hitched to one of the vehicles going through Manhattan, on a sled. Were you being pulled behind a car?
Yeah,
on the snow?
I was in the tube, though, not the sled.
Oh.
I've actually done that, so you might be joking, but I have literally been pulled behind a car on a tube and kneeboard and
I have done it.
Minnesota activities.
That is so awesome. Hey, do what you got to do and where you live, right? Make the most of it.
Exactly. You got to make the most of the winter season, and what better way than to get pulled behind a car?
Utilize the time.
Oh, that's classic. Well, Chris, man, we are thrilled to have you here today. I'm going to set it up a little bit by saying this. The introduction is with Chris Heine, is that I went to support a good buddy of mine, Jared Sebesta, who has been a guest on our show. Jared and I have known each other going on 2 years, which it's amazing. He's doing great things in and around Minnesota, outside Minnesota. He's just killing it. But at Jared's event, Chris and I and his daughter sat across from one another at dinner that night and got a chance to really bond, no pun intended, really bond together that night. And he and I have shared some deep, meaningful conversations since that time. And just, the connection is beautiful. And I will say this, that Jared had 3 speakers plus himself, and he had Chris come up and provide gear that was unbelievable. So we're going to dive into Chris's Bond branded gear and talk about that, but we're going to talk about health and wellness. We're going to dive into that, and we're going to discover who Chris is. We're going to talk about his business, his apparel company, all of that kind of stuff, the shift that just happened when I met him to now. So there's just so much behind Chris Heine that I'm excited to learn more about and learn more about you.
Agreed.
Thank you. Excited to tell you more about myself and my business and all the good things we have in store.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this show is not about me. This show is about our guests. This is about education. This is about, getting the word out about health and wellness, whether it's people struggling with mental illnesses or hurdles or obstacles that are in their way, like a good friend of ours, Karina Reed, who has just, battled a lifetime of overcoming the obstacles. Also educating people in how to eat better, how to sleep better, how to breathe better, how to listen to your body, how to improve your body, walking. I mean, we have done it all. And today we're going to learn how to make good brands and put it on a t-shirt. So through health and wellness. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is the fact that right over my shoulder here is a box that has come from Chris and his company. And over the last little bit, I have decided, because I have Move Today 365, I have Impact Live events, I have Next Gen Visionaries, which is from today, it's only a week old, which is a visionary leadership group. None of these really supersede one another, but in rebranding who I am, it's all about Russell Rogers. So when I met Chris, he said, get your logo, get everything set. He goes, I'm going to send you a gift. And so with that being said, I received that gift here today, Bond right there. And I'm excited to share with what his company has provided for me and Russell Rogers. And russellrogers.net. So I got my handy dandy knife, sharpen this baby up. It is ready to go. So I'm going to open this box here. And I'm super excited about this, Chris.
I am too. This is one of my greatest joys in business is this right here is when I meet a new friend, family member, new customer. I love getting their logo, putting it on some amazing gear and blowing their mind. And I've had people hug me. I've had people start crying. The effect that it has is tremendous. And it brings me so much joy to give without expecting to receive anything back. It just makes me happy. And maybe that's selfish in a way, but again, it also allows me to showcase what I'm capable of. So go ahead and open it.
That's awesome, man.
That's
awesome.
Reaction.
So I've opened it here. I'm going to back up just a little bit from the camera. So I've opened it up here, open it side, looking in here, and seeing that there is a hat on the top with the new brand logo.
Let's go.
Let's go. How about that?
Yeah.
Woo! That is sick.
That is sick.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
With that logo, we did a process that we call Puff 3D embroidery, and it's a process where we have your logo digitized specifically for Puff 3D. We lay down a foam and we embroider over the top of the foam, and it creates that three-dimensional look so that your logo sticks off the hat by about 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, you can feel it. Oh, yeah. It's awesome. Look at that.
Looks good on you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And that is not all. Thank you. It fits beautifully, and I just love the look. So let's shed the box. Let's get that out of here. We got a little package here. Yeah, I tell you, the thing about it is you've got the label on the front, and I'm going to build up, Bond brand right now, is that when I walked up to my door, I've got this box. It's got the label. Let me grab it. It's got the label right here, right on the front. Looks fabulous, right? It's got his label right there. You've got a nice package. You got the hat. So we're going to look inside, and we're going to pull out an unbelievably textured garment here. Wow. Oh, my. So here it is. Beautiful. Look at that. My camera keeps moving on me. I'm trying to adjust. There we go. You see that?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh,
love it.
Yeah,
that is sick.
You mentioned the packaging. One of the things I really strive to convey to my team is that details matter. So even the way we pack our orders when they leave our facility, you'll see it's different than most companies. Everything is neatly organized, folded. And again, we create a whole presentation with the box itself. We put a logo on there. And again, everything is clean, neat, so that you create an experience the whole way through.
That's all. It is. It is an experience.
So,
oh yeah, I got to put this on, man. I got to represent.
Love it.
Bond brand right here. Oh, this material is amazing.
That's super nice. Love that.
Yeah, we
look at that.
The brand that we chose is Unreal, which is actually a Minnesota company. They've grown since COVID. They started in 2020, and they've grown to, I believe, a $30 million company in 6 years. They just signed on a deal with the NFL, NHL. They've got stuff going with Major League Baseball, all of, I think, racing, F1. Wow. It's a huge brand. It's awesome. The material is second to none. It's so
incredible.
Comfortable. Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm a huge fan of Unreal.
Here it is. Dude, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
My pleasure.
Let me tell you, man, this guy, there were 4 speakers, including Jared, and he creatively made a garment for each one of them, a jacket that fit the speakers to a T. Like, this was after they had spoke, right? And so you get a little of their personality, and then all of a sudden Chris comes in, and he's up there on the stage with all 4 of them, presenting individual gifts to each one of these speakers, and it fit them like a glove. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And this thing fits me fabulously. This hat is amazing. I'm just in awe right now.
Yeah.
I really am. This is incredible.
So I'm not going to lie to you here. You look like you could wear that to F1.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a total F1 outfit right there.
There you go. You look fat. You look fast, Russ.
You do.
Oh, did you see that move?
No.
You probably didn't even see that move. It was so fast.
Didn't even see it. Didn't even see it.
Chris, thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.
I'm telling you, I've been looking forward to this day. You and I had a conversation about a month ago. We kind of set this all up, and then your team helped out, got this all printed up, got it here today for this podcast. I'm thrilled, man. I'm so excited. And but again, this show is not about me. This is about us. It's about you. It's about everything that we're doing. And I'm thrilled because not because I received this, but the level of discussion that you and I have had in conversations, not only that night, and by the way, that food that night was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
I hear it's one of the, I forget the name of it. What's the name of the restaurant? Do you remember?
Where were we again?
It's like one of the high-end, it's one of the highest end restaurants in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm
whatever
so
it is.
with restaurant names, but
Okay,
Butcher and the Boar, I believe.
What was it?
Yes, Butcher and the Boar.
There you go.
Yeah,
Props to them.
That's a spot.
The food was spectacular. We're going to eat there when we go. We're going to be there in September, by the way, for the event.
Yeah.
Impact events. You're going to be there, Chris.
Absolutely. And we're hosting an event here at Bond, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's gonna be fabulous.
Can't wait.
So, Chris, let's dive in. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, my friend. Thank you. This looks amazing. It really does, and it fits so good. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about who Chris is, what makes Chris who he is today. Tell us, just dive in a little bit about who you are as a person.
Yeah. Well, that's a challenging question. It's weird talking about yourself in that light, but I would say who I am is a very driven person, literally in everything I do, whether it's my business, my family, with friends, my fitness, everything that I do, I put my all into and then some. Really, I really do. I strive to be great at everything I do. I know I'm not always going to be the best at everything, but I am going to give it hell and do everything I can to get to that next level. Again, whether it's my fitness, whether it's my business, I'm constantly trying to improve my mindset, my spiritual side of things, my relationships, and again, the fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know fitness is a huge part of it because you and I just started talking about that when I was there back in November, and I've seen your posts. You're in the weight room. You're doing it. You look amazing in terms of your physique. I mean, you have a strong presence. You're about 6'2",
6'3".
6'3".
Mm-hmm.
So, very strong presence, good physique, family's all fit. Health and wellness is a part of your life.
It is. Yeah. I believe fitness is like the key to your life. It fuels everything. I've been an athlete since I was a kid. I grew up in Minnesota. I started playing hockey at the age of 3. So literally learn how to walk and you're on skates in Minnesota. I also played baseball, football, golf, any sport. I just loved playing sports as a kid. I still love playing sports. And then the fitness side of it started at a really young age. So when I was 12 years old, I worked at a gym in Plymouth, Minnesota that was called The Gym. It was a gym where all the WWF wrestlers worked out. So I was like the young, again, 12-year-old that cleaned the place and kind of was their go for this, go for that. And as a kid, I would be working and Hulk Hogan would come in, Jesse the Body Ventura, the Road Warriors. Do you remember those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wore like the war paint and they had those football shoulder pads with huge spikes coming out.
Yes.
And they were massive. Their arms were like this. And I'll never forget this. One day I was working out and I was on a lat pull down and one of the Road Warriors was on a cable right across from me. And behind me was the mirror. And again, I'm a 12-year-old kid and I'm working out and I have this behemoth of a man in front of me and the mirror's behind me. And I'm like, sir, am I in your way of the mirror? And this guy doesn't skip a beat, and he looks at me, and, you know, again, intimidating guy, 270 pounds, you know, just gassed out of the gills, just jacked. And he looks at me and he goes, brother, I grow without the mirror. And I'll never forget that moment. And I was laughing in my head, but I was so scared. And I'm like, you certainly do, my friend.
He's like,
that's a great statement.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I played when I played basketball in high school. We got an opportunity when the Warriors used to play in Oakland. We got a chance to play in the stadium, and it was an unbelievable experience. Well, when our game was over, we were the game right before the pro game, right? And I don't know if you guys remember Mark Eaton, who used to play for the Utah Jazz. Mark Eaton was 7'4", and I have no idea how much he weighed. I bet he weighed every bit of 275 or 3. I was walking off the court. He was walking on the court, and I passed, and I was just like, oh my word. I just, you know, so you're talking about a bodybuilder that's huge. This man was massive. That, you know, it jogged my memory when you said that.
Yeah. Right, I bet. Did you post him up, Russ?
I posted him up. I did.
Yeah, posted him up.
I backed into it. I backed into his knee.
Yep. And then Eaton just shoved it down his throat. Yeah.
I'll dunk you. I'll dunk you, brother.
Land on him.
But yeah, back to the fitness. That was my first kind of introduction to fitness. So it really got me into working out. I also worked at Lifetime Fitness when I was younger. I didn't have a degree in personal training, and I really wanted to be a personal trainer. And that was one of their rules at the time. The personal training manager is like, if you want to be a trainer here, you have to have a degree in kinesiology, exercise science, something. So I didn't have that. So I'm like, how can I get a job here? And he said, well, if you work at the towel desk and prove yourself, maybe I'll hire you, and you have to get some kind of certification. So I took a job at the towel desk, folding towels, cleaning the bathrooms, doing all of the shit jobs really. But again, I had a goal in mind of here's where I want to be, a personal trainer, and here's what I need to do to get there. And I did just that. So I got certified with ACE, which is the American Council on Exercise, worked at the towel desk, proved myself, and got hired as a personal trainer. And again, I was super passionate about it. I envisioned that I was going to be training pro athletes and Olympians and all these like high level athletes. And the reality is I was mostly training, you know, stay at home moms that wanted me to be more of their counselor than their trainer. You know, they just wanted someone that listens to them and talks and also provides a great workout, which I did, of course. But for me, again, super passionate about fitness, but the training side of it, I did it for about 2 years, but it became very monotonous and kind of the same thing every day. And I knew that there was something more for me in store, you know, like it wasn't quite the right fit for a career. Again, super passionate about it, but I knew it wasn't the right thing. Fast forward, my wife and I were dating at the time, and all of a sudden we found out we were pregnant. So we had a baby on the way, not married, broke. And I'm like, I need to figure out my life. So I actually started selling for our family business, which was originally called First Choice Uniforms and Promotional Products. And again, I knew like I had to provide for this family. I was hungry and I had to do better. So I started selling for the company. In my first year, I sold about $500,000 as a 23-year-old kid. My next year, I did $750,000. My third year, I did over $1 million. So again, you know, that mindset of having, again, a goal in mind, having something that I needed to work for that was beyond me, that was about my family, about my baby girl, really drove me to, you know, become who I am.
That's incredible.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Dude, that's a lot, man. And what a salesman you are.
Thanks.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of, I don't even look at it as being a salesman. I'm more of a relationship, manager. And that's really how I've built my whole career, is creating relationships and bonds that last. Again, that's when we rebranded our company in 2020. We met with a company. I wanted a third party that was non-biased to help with the rebrand. And they interviewed several of our top customers and said, why do you do business with Chris and his team at First Choice Uniforms? And they all had the same answer. It was because of the relationship that we had with them. They said a common answer was, I talked to Chris on a Saturday and mentioned something in passing, and on Monday morning, I had a quote with exactly what I was looking for sitting, in my inbox. So those were the types of things that really helps, influence Bond. And that's how Bond was born or reborn.
That's awesome.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. And I'll attest to this, Dan, that whenever I met Chris and just, sat across from the table and talking with him and his daughter, like, relationships is spot on. Like, you could just sense Chris's heart, his passion for, Bond and his family, and just passionate about his family.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Thank
I
you.
feel like in the business world, people also look at you from a different standpoint when you're just more of a relationship guy, as opposed to being the guy who's always trying to sell and always trying to sell.
Exactly.
People have this greater respect for you in some nature. I feel like if you're going there, you're always knocking on the door. Hey, listen, I got this, I got this, I got this. They don't always want to hear that, but when it's, hey, I really just want to talk to Chris, see what he's got going on, or like that. It's a better relationship from a sales standpoint, as opposed to just being the salesman all the time.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go into it ever with dollar signs flashing in my eyes.
Sure.
If you come at it with the mindset of first taking care of the person and having that relationship, and then just having the mindset of always trying to help. How can I help you? How can I help you? Constantly having that mindset. Yeah. Everything will always take care of itself if those two things are covered.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So who is the backbone behind who Chris is?
Whoa.
Oh,
the backbone behind who I am. What do you mean by that?
Deep.
Meaning you as a character. Like, we can point to somebody in our lives who really impacted us and who really gave you that backbone in your journey to becoming who you are today.
Yeah, I would probably say my dad, my father, Roger. He was a great man. He was a self-made guy. He had grit and heart like you've never seen. He was a tremendous man. He was a man that cared about his family first and foremost. And again, he was also a relationship guy. He was a man of integrity. So he really taught me all of those things that, helped shape who I am today. In fact, I tell this story a lot to friends and family, but I didn't realize it at the time, but this story is one of the things that really shaped who I became as a person and also with my business acumen. But when I was in 8th grade, my dad was also in the office products business. So he owned a company called Roger Heine and Associates. So before Office Max and Office Depot, there were small middlemen like him that sold to all of the kind of local ma and pa book and stationery stores. So he sold everything from pens to highlighters to day runners. For you young kids, that's the organizers. Before we had phones, you would write everything down in these leather bound organizers, and that's how you kept track of all your stuff. But again, whiteboards, staplers, like anything office products he sold. At the time, my brother and I wanted a fishing boat, and the boat I think was like $14,000. He could have easily just bought the boat in cash and been done with it. But my dad made us earn everything. So he said, I have a whole warehouse full of office products. Whatever you guys sell, I'll match. So my brother and I cleaned out my parents' 3-stall garage in Plymouth, Minnesota. We brought in all the shelving that he had. We brought in all of the office products. We labeled everything with the old school sticker gun. We we created signs that were on tag board that literally funneled people in from this highway and this highway, funneling everyone all the way into their house. These signs said huge office product liquidation sample sale, and they were everywhere. And again, this is pre-internet, so we put ads in the Star and Tribune newspaper and the Plymouth Sun-Sailor, which is a local newspaper where they lived. And we had this ad run. We opened up and we had cars lined up and down the block. So we had this sale for 1 month. And again, I was in 8th grade when this happened. My brother and I sold $50,000 out of a garage as an 8th grade kid. So needless to say, and these were all free products. These were free samples that my dad's manufacturers gave. So he paid for the boat in cash and then put $36,000 in his pocket. And little did I know
Not your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. But little did I know at the time, but that experience shaped who I would later become. I look at that as like one of the pivotal moments of my life of really how I became who I am today. It, allowed me as an 8th grade kid to talk to all these people, to develop relationships, to meet people, to hustle, learning how to like organize and set up a store like that. There were so many experiences that really helped shape who I am. So I'm thankful for my dad for doing that. And I've tried to do the same thing with my kids, where nothing is just given. You have to earn it, and otherwise nothing is going to be appreciated. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That reminds me of like being a newspaper boy.
Yeah.
Right? I think, the percentages are pretty high for newspaper boys back in the day, who were, raised up and became great entrepreneurs because of that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Getting up early in the morning, having to hustle, having to be there every morning to deliver that paper, which, people relied on those. And absolutely. That I can see the correlation there.
Yeah. I could see you guys in your community being pulled by your parents' car on a sled in the snow, tossing those papers out.
That's right.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But it's true. It's true though what he said, because in 8th grade you don't usually get those experiences so much. Like nobody really does. And I think the biggest thing that's lacked now, so to speak, in the younger generation is the social skills. Mm-hmm. The social skills are not taught. It's not something that's harped upon. It's something that's just completely overlooked, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I was a kid. When I was a kid, I kind of like, I was a little bit shy, but then I started bartending and waitering and everything like that. And that kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you put yourself in those positions like that, you have no choice but to learn the social skills a little bit. You have to be put in a situation that has a little bit of pressure on you. And I feel like that's something that's overlooked. People don't really get that experience nowadays. The kids don't really have that experience nowadays unless you work in that atmosphere in some way, shape, or form, which I don't really think a lot of kids do so much anymore. I feel like most of the kids behind the computer, behind the phones, as opposed to having the real conversations, putting themselves out there, trying different things. But yeah, I think that's like, if you have that experience, I think that you could turn it into something else like you did.
Yeah, agree 100%. And I've made a point with my kids. My daughter, Leah, is actually my director of operations. She's right behind me in that room right there right now, working hard, but she's 23 years old. My son, Roman, is almost 18, but one of I guess the greatest compliment you can get as a parent is when other people tell you your kids are good. Yeah. And I get that quite often, and my kids both know how to talk. And I've told them since they were little, I'm like, if you guys can communicate and just show up, you're going to be light years ahead of your peers and your competition. So both of my kids have beautiful personalities. When they meet you, they will look you in your eyes and shake your hand. They're personable and they have great personalities. So I'm really proud of them. And I love that for them, because again, if you can get along with people, you're going to do just fine in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll compliment you too, Chris, because you went off to the restroom or wherever you went to talk to people or get a drink or whatever you did, but you left the table and your daughter and I were still there at the table, and I can say exactly and affirm what you just said about conversation, looking people in the eye, and sharing their views in the conversation that we had while you were gone. And in 5 minutes, you came back. We didn't miss a beat.
Yeah,
And the fact that exactly what you just said about your kids and what you and your wife have done to give them the strengths and the abilities and the personality that to just be the person that they're going to become. I saw it firsthand.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris, running a company like Bond Branded Gear must come with a lot of stresses. It comes with obstacles, I'm sure, things of that nature. During periods of like high pressure, burnout, stresses, what habits or mindsets would you say that you've developed to stay kind of mentally grounded and not letting the business consume you at all times?
Yeah, great question, Dan. Stress is part of the game. It is going to happen. It's never going to end. You're going to have constant stress. You're going to have sleepless nights where you have something going on with the business that you feel like it's the end of the world at the time, right? But you have to really compartmentalize would be, I guess, the key word. So learning how to manage that stress in a healthy way. So myself personally, I don't drink alcohol, so I turn right to the gym, and that helps a lot with my mental health is, making sure that I'm working out 5 to 7 days a week, eating right, getting the right amount of sleep. All of those things really have helped me, but really learning how to compartmentalize and then also learning how to create an order of importance, with whatever you have going on at work, putting things into categories of what needs to get done, what can wait, kind of that order of importance is really, it kind of helps you compartmentalize all of those different categories, and you can really see things a lot clearer. Because a lot of times when you're under that stress, our brains don't work as well. You can't see what's clear as day in front of you. So when you kind of organize it and create that order of importance, it helps you to understand it a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of obstacles, can you tell us what has been one of your biggest obstacles in life, one of your biggest challenges that you've ever had, and what helped you catapult and get over it?
Oh, great question, Russ. I've had so many, and then life, a lot of people look at life as we're trying to just constantly strive for happiness. And I've heard Ed Milet talk about this, where if you're constantly striving for happiness, you're going to be gravely disappointed. Most of life is not happiness. It's us trying to achieve happiness and kind of that journey along the way. But happiness is a fleeting moment. So when you kind of understand that, it helps put things in perspective. But I would say the hardest thing that I've been through is my wife and I lost a child. We had a stillbirth. His name was Christian, and we lost him in our 9th month of pregnancy. So we were right there at the finish line, a week or 2 away, ready to give birth to this baby boy. And he passed away. It was, at the time, it was like my soul was ripped out. I was angry. I was mad at God. I was sad. I had all these emotions pouring through me. And I was fortunate enough, the night that we lost him, I ended up going to sleep. I had a dream. And in this dream, a voice came to me and said that my son's life wasn't going to be used for days to come. Not for weeks, not for months, but his life and his story was going to be used for years to come to help other people. And what's lost will be restored. So fast forward, we ended up getting pregnant again with a baby boy. And we ended up having our son Roman 2 years to the exact day that we lost Christian, to the exact day. So to me, that was, really God fulfilling what he told me in that dream. And my story and me telling Christian's story, I have told on podcasts, I've told in casual conversations. I've had dozens of people reach out that have also lost children, lost a baby, and they're like, Chris, how are you getting through it? How are you okay? Couples blame each other. It's like an 80% divorce rate when couples lose a child. People turn to alcohol. They turn to drugs. People commit suicide because of it. So having, someone that has a story and can relate to it and that came out of it in a healthy way, I think is extremely valuable. So I love telling the story of my son, Christian. And again, it's something that I'll share for the rest of my life because, again, God told me I'm supposed to tell this story, and it's come to fruition. I've told it so many times, and it continues to inspire and help people. So,
sure.
That's powerful.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Because I know that I lost my father 6 years ago now, and so but to lose, to have a stillborn, right, to have it in your name, have him in your name, and then to lose it and not to have that, but have that dream is powerful. And then to have Roman on the same day, 2 years later.
Yeah, crazy. Roman, if you meet Roman, I feel like he's like two kids in one. He's a very spirited young man. He's been our challenge. Nothing bad, but he's constantly just getting into stupid trouble at school. He's like almost a straight D student. So school is not his gifting, which I'm okay with.
That's okay. Yeah.
His heart and his spirit and his personality make up for the lack of school, straight A's and all of that. He's just an amazing young kid. I'm really proud of who he is as a person. And again, his heart, if you know him, is so beautiful. He's got a really great heart and he's a great human being. So that first and foremost is all I care about with my kids.
Absolutely. Well said.
That's great.
Well said. I hope to meet Roman one day.
You will. Absolutely. Yeah.
Chris, what would you say is one early belief that you had being an entrepreneur or whatever it may be that you had to unlearn? Something you had to unlearn that you thought was the right thing for many, many years, and you said it's not the right thing, and you had to unlearn that tactic or that technique.
Yeah, I like that question. I would say the biggest thing is the low price seller. A lot of young business people, salesmen, they think price is like the key to the sale, right? It's not. As a young, immature salesman, you're constantly worried about price. I can get you the best deal. Do you want a deal? I can get you a price. And that's all they focus on is price. When, like I talked about earlier, if you focus on the relationship and doing the little things to just show up and focus on that relationship and always do the right thing, everything else will take care of itself. You might not get every deal. You might have those price shoppers. And again, I don't want people that are coming to me on price. If price and price alone is all they're looking for, I'll tell them I'm not your guy. I'm about long-term relationships. I want to build a relationship and a partnership where we're helping elevate your brand with all of the products that we create. And again, price isn't going to help us get there. It's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I tell you, you're giving some really good nuggets here today.
For sure.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, this is fantastic. I think about, our human bodies. I think about our time. We're all given the same amount of time. We all have 24 hours. Mm-hmm. We choose what we're going to do with that time. And you choose, you're running a company, you got a family, you're raising kids, working for you. What is it in your life that drives you to fitness, to make it a priority in your day, to where maybe other people struggle with? Somebody comes to you and says, Chris, listen, man, I'm really struggling because I just don't have enough time in the day.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
How many times have we heard that? We just don't have enough time today to work out. Or I'm gonna push working out later. How do you set in your mind, like, I have to do this. I need to do this.
Yeah.
What is it that drives you?
Great question. If anyone comes to me and says, I don't have time, I'm like, bullshit. Time is never a valid excuse for anything, right? I mean, I'm being a dad. I've coached my kids in every sport. I'm running a multi-million-dollar business, and I find the time to work out. So you can too. So, time is never a valid excuse. So to me, it's, again, the backbone of everything I do. If I can't take care of my body and my mind with my fitness and my diet, I'm not going to be able to take care of my family. I'm not going to be able to take care of my business. So I really look at health and fitness as kind of the cornerstone for my whole life. Again, even I think the way I look gives me an advantage, showing up that I'm in shape. I can practice what I preach. My clothes, again, that I'm selling, I think look good on me. So
Absolutely.
all of those things really help you. It gives me confidence. So, I feel good whenever I'm face to face with someone. I know who I am. I have the right energy levels as well to be able to do all of these things. And then anyone who knows me, I'm a machine. I don't stop working. I don't stop moving. I can just keep going and going. And that's all because of my fitness.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you listen to a lot of like these high level entrepreneurs like Pedro's Cooley and Justin Waller, Kelly Siegel, they all preach fitness. Everybody preaches fitness because they say, you walk in the room, command that attention already when you're already in shape. People know you have that drive, you have that discipline, you have motivation. You're your own sales pitch in a way. You don't have to say a word. You walk in the room, you're in shape. You're already selling yourself to them. They already see it on you. Like, okay, this guy or this female can, they can get something done because I could see the drive they already have just by how they look.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, honestly.
I do too. I 100%. And when you see a high level male or female walk into a room, you can tell there's something different. They have a swagger about them. Their chin is up, their shoulders are back. They definitely carry themselves with a presence, that is different than the guy that walks in and he's down, his head's down. They won't look you in the eye. There's a difference there. So I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
The same is true about the cheeseburger salesman. A person that sells cheeseburgers, right?
Yeah.
They command attention.
It's true. But I tell you, even though if you look at a lot of like these food entrepreneurs, a lot of them are in really good shape. Like they're in great shape, even though they're selling burgers and fries and everything like that. I always laugh at that. I'm like, this guy's shredded and he's selling cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Oh, that's funny.
Chris, from a standpoint of, let's say, entrepreneurship or just you being you, when it's all said and done, what do you want people to think you stood for?
Wow. Another great question. You guys are full of amazing questions that are deep. I want to be known for a guy that does what he says he's going to do. One of our taglines here is our word is bond. So I would say that's me wrapped up in a nutshell is like, I want to be known as a man of his word. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I do what I say and I say what I do.
Even with a finger point.
That's right.
Yeah.
We gotta get a sticker of Chris.
I like that. Our word
and
is
the bond and the bond gear.
That's great. That's great. Awesome.
Yeah. What do you think? What for you as a parent? What is one of the things that you feel like has really stuck the most with your kids that you and your wife have taught them?
Yeah. One of the things with being a parent, a lot of parents also use the time excuse. I don't have the time. And it's, again, I call bullshit. I would say the biggest thing that's stuck with my kids, and they'll tell you the same thing to this day as it were true when they were babies, but I've always been where my feet are. So wherever I am going to be there 100%. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm not going to be working in the background. I am going to be 100% there with you and be where my feet are. So with my kids, since they've been little, With my son, I would play Legos and play toys with him, and I would go all in. I'm not talking about half-ass playing. I would fully get into characters and you name it. My daughter, I would play dolls. I remember making duct tape purses. Like they have like the colored duct tape and you can make all these like crazy things. And I literally made a full functioning purse that was like the Louis Vuitton of duct tape purses. So I was all in and fully present with her. And again, she'll tell you that to this day that her and I have an amazing relationship. And I think it's because I laid a lot of that groundwork when she was little. I was always there for her. I coached her and my son in all their sports. I brought them into the fitness game and showed them how to work out. Both of our kids still want to hang out with us all the time, which says something when a 18 and a 23-year-old want to hang out with their nerdy parents, right? It shows you've done something right. So,
this thing right here is a great tool.
mm-hmm.
It's powerful, knowledgeable, could lead us in any direction we want to go. It can find information like that. But the two words that you just said to me, be present.
Mm-hmm.
For those parents that are out there that are listening, that have kids that you're raising, and even if they're already raised and you're going out to dinner, it's not about spending time on this thing right here. It's about being present. And what you just said is so powerful that I don't want it to be overlooked by our listeners today. That wherever your feet are, be grounded in where you're at. And if you're investing time in kids, your kids, or you're coaching kids or whatever, be present. That is so powerful. Chris, that means a lot to me, because that's a lot of what I'm out there speaking about and encouraging and writing about. But but being present is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's something I really try to do. And, whether I'm talking to someone face to face, if I'm with a customer, I am going to be fully present, fully there, and you're going to get 100% of me and my attention. And that's just who I am. And I do it without even an effort. It's just inherently who I am.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Chris, we have a saying that we usually close out the podcast with, or a statement, and that statement is, wellness is not about perfection, it's about progress. What would you say that statement means to you?
Say it again.
It's wellness is not about perfection, it's about progress.
Yeah. Well, I would say that your fitness journey never ends, just like your journey with your business, with yourself as a husband, as a friend. Again, you should always be striving to improve constantly. It never ends. You don't just get to this magic body and then you're like, well, I'm done. I could put my feet up. No, it doesn't end. You have to constantly work at it. Just like you have to work at your relationships, just like you have to work on your fitness, your family, your friends, all of it. You got to constantly put the work in and strive to be better.
That's awesome.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
So many great things. I am excited for people who weren't here today. We shifted the time, weren't here today live, but are going to be able to catch this episode. Yeah. Powerful words by you today in sharing with us, with our listeners. Those are going to hear this, for years down the road that tune in to Dual Coast and hear the words of Chris Heine. Bond branded gear. What an amazing company you have. What an amazing human being, parent, father you are, husband. So I commend you on all levels, and just keep striving, man. You're doing outstanding work. Like, just keep striving and keep making an impact in people's lives.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, thank you so much for having me. I feel honored that I could be a guest on your show. And let's do this again. I'll come back anytime you guys need me. I'm there. If you need me to fight off any bad guys, ninjas, I'm there.
Much appreciated.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this gear, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It is outstanding. Looks amazing.
stuff.
Of course.
Where can people find you?
Chris, yeah, where can people find you?
Yeah, on Instagram, my name is Chris Heine Official. Website for Bond is bondbrandedgear.com. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me on social and connect. And I would love to help any of you with your businesses. If you have questions about family, about parenting, about fitness, I am an open book. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'm here to help people. And I want to create value wherever I go. And that's, another one of my mottos is to always create value with my friends, my family, my customers. And again, details matter. So I try to do all of the details and small things to help out in any way that I can.
It's awesome. And if anybody is out there looking for apparel, he'll ship right to you, and you can see that he does amazing work. So if you need apparel, you need hats, whatever, for your business, reach out to Chris Heine with Bond Branded Gear.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, smile real quick.
Yep.
Awesome. Got a little photo there.
Oh, yeah. I was going to do the same thing. Send that to me.
That's awesome. Chris, it's been an amazing hour with you, man.
Likewise.
Yes, awesome.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much for being here. Dual Coast Podcast signing off. Chris Heine, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.